Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. Welcome, one and all, to the Dukes of Gaming podcast. Thank you for choosing to hang with us for the next hour and some change as we tell you about what is happening in the world of video games. And as always, I have the pleasure of being joined by a fellow Duke, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Joining me first and foremost, he's a Nintendo hater, but you would never be able to tell from his room decor. He plays all his games on the hardest mode while teaching his students at the same damn time. Of course, I'm talking about the Duke of Education, Alfredo. How are you doing this week, my friend?
I am doing well. I'm doing okay. There
Well,
is something I want to clarify. I don't always play on the hardest mode. I just don't always play on normal mode. So I might play on hard mode, but I won't always play nightmare mode.
so
Sometimes I
not like
will, but
extreme, not
right,
extreme,
right.
but the
Sometimes,
one right
sometimes I
below
wanna,
that.
sometimes I wanna chill. So I'll only play on hard. I won't
Okay.
play on normal. If I'm feeling like I need that extra like stomp on me mode, I go to nightmare.
Okay, that's fair enough. I
Case by case
always
basis.
I always start my games on the standard mode,
Mm.
and then I see like how is this challenging me, and if it's not challenging me enough, then I turn it up a little bit.
That's me with hard mode. Hard mode is my foundation, my basis, and then I
Okay,
I go up from there.
never down,
Never. No, I did
never
go down
down,
once,
just
but
once.
thou shall never be named.
Oh, we'll never find out what that game is, but I will
Nope.
tell you what my name is. I last and least, I rap, I make beats, they're all heat. Plus, I watch anime because I am your Duke of Anime, Thomas. And again, thank you for choosing to hang with us as we talk about video games. We always have to start with the age-old gamer question. What have we been playing this week? Alfredo, why don't you take it away?
Sure. Yeah, I've been playing two very cool games that both released quite recently, actually. So I've been playing Stray, the cat game that everyone's talking about,
Mhm.
which both me and Thomas will probably give our impressions on a little later. But since both of us aren't playing this other game, I'm going to talk about that first. So I'm playing also As Dusk Falls, which is the narrative game from who is the developer? Intrepid Night.
Yeah,
Interior Night, I
the
believe.
interior night. Yeah, you
Yeah.
asked some hard questions
Yeah,
there. I
right,
was like,
right. So
ooh.
yeah, so it's Xbox is this is one of their first party studios, and this is their first debut game that they ever made, and
Mhm.
it's a narrative game a la Telltale's The Walking Dead, like back when Telltale used to make narrative games like that. Yeah, so it's kind of like that, like Tales of the Borderland. You're basically just moving around minimally as the character. Not really in this game. It's more like a point and click and making certain decisions, and you're doing I guess what would you call it, like you're it's an interactive movie, so you're basically like you're swiping down your mouse or pressing a certain button during a scene, but you're not really walking around and interacting with things. You're not like running miles or anything like that or shooting anything. You're just
Yeah,
clicking the prompts. You're watching a
yeah.
movie.
I
Yeah.
would say it's like even less interactive than a Telltale game.
Yeah,
Because in
it's a little.
Telltale games, you are like walking around, you are
Mhm.
finding items. This game doesn't contain any of that.
Yeah,
You
you
just
just make
click.
choices
It's point and click
and click.
essentially.
Right, right, and it's great. So yes, it's I guess it's more along the lines of like a Supermassive games, but even then, Supermassive games like Until Dawn and their Dark Pictures anthology, those have more interactivity as well. With those,
You
you're
can walk
walking around
around.
and stuff.
Yeah, I feel
Exactly.
like this is one of the. I know there have been games like obviously visual novels are games
Mm.
where you could where it's
Yeah.
kind of like this, but for the most part, in when I think of like a walking simulator or whatever they're called, narrative driven games.
Hmm.
That's more what they're called, narrative driven games. Like they are mostly like you do kind of have this walking around you can do, and this
Hmm.
game is way different where it's just like these watercolored it's watercolored stop motion s art style
Yeah.
that's mixed with 3D environments because sometimes there is environments within the game that do move in real time.
Hmm.
It's a
Yeah, like
very
there'll be
interesting
wind or
mix.
something. There'll be
Yeah.
wind blowing a character model's hair, but the characters themselves, like they won't be moving. So
Right.
it's an art style that's really interesting because I think we all the Dukes at least had that reaction where we all saw it really recently. I think it was during Summer's Game Fest or something where it was first revealed, and we were all like, "Ooh, we don't know if we like this."
Well, it's
But
one of
as
those games. Yeah, it's one of those games that you need to experience in a long stretch.
right.
Like seeing it for like 2 minutes didn't hammer home exactly how beautiful it is.
Hey, I will say that I was the one, the Duke of Education here. I was the only one who said, "Oh, actually, this doesn't look." I'm getting used to it, and the story, like the 3 or 4 minutes that we saw of the trailer when it was revealed, it was like intriguing enough. The story itself that I was able to look past the art itself, and like I was really excited to play this. So now I found
Yeah,
myself.
I was. The thing is, I was always excited from a narrative
Uh
standpoint.
huh.
Yeah, no, roll the tape. We can roll the tape. I was always from a narrative aspect looking like looks pretty interesting. It was the art style that I was like, ooh.
Right.
I
Can you
think
get
I
past the
think
art style?
quote unquote, I'm gonna look it up after this, but I think quote unquote I said this game is gonna live and die by its story.
Yeah, I think you did say that.
And it does live and die by its story, and it
Yeah.
definitely lives. Like
Yes.
it's
It
a
does.
very good story.
Yeah, and you actually, Thomas, you finish the
I
game,
did.
right?
I
Okay,
did. So
cool.
I
Yeah.
won't. I'm not going to spoil anything.
No
Anything.
spoilers.
'Cause I know you are still. You just finished book one. For
Yeah.
anybody who doesn't know, it's separated by 2 books. I was going to be very upset if we got to the end because it was rolling credits. And I was
Right.
like,
After
no
book
way.
one?
I was like, no
Yeah.
way. I was like, we are not ending this way. I don't know
Right.
if you were. I don't know if
It
you had
ends
the
in a
exact ending.
cliffhanger.
Yeah, I don't know if you had the exact ending I did because of the choices and everything, but
Mhm.
the way it ended in part one, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. That's the
I
end of the
think
game?
I think it always and that's the thing with these narrative games. So let's talk about it. This what I will say is that this so far I've only played book one, so about 3 hours out of the six. And I played it on stream. If you want to catch that, you can find it on our YouTube channel. But I
And watch
will
us live on
say
Twitch as well,
that too.
please.
That too. I will say that this is probably the best narrative driven game I've ever played.
I was
Hands
thinking
down.
that. I was
Hands
thinking that
down.
too.
And
I don't know
is
if it
no
is.
competition.
No, I have to play some of my other favorites again. That's how
Well,
good but that's how good this game is, where I'm
mhm.
like, I gotta replay some of those games that I considered like top tier.
Well, here's the thing. So the only one that was like a 10 out of 10 narrative driven game for me has ever been Telltale's The Walking Dead season 1. That was a 10 out of 10. And
Okay.
but it was a little biased for me because that was the first one that came out and pulled at your heartstrings, like delivered on the promises of your choices mattered, kind of.
Like games
But
of that
it
nature
really
existed, like
different.
Broken
Right.
Age existed, like
Yeah, but The Walking Dead was something
yeah,
different. Like they
Walking
did
Dead. I mean,
something
that
with
was
the
winning Game of the
story.
Year. Like that.
Mhm.
I think it won Game of the Year at the Game Awards
Yeah,
that
it did.
year. It got a
Mhm.
lot of like 9 out of 10s in reviews and stuff. Like that was
Mhm.
definitely the one. And obviously, The Walking Dead. That was when the comic was big. That was when the
Right.
show was big. So it came out at it honestly felt like The Walking Dead was taking over.
Yeah, perfect
Like how the
storm.
zombies are taking over in that show, The Walking Dead was taking over in our world. Where it's
Mhm.
like I think it was between that and Game of Thrones at that point in time for the biggest
Yeah.
show in the world. So
Whew.
that game came out at such a
Yeah.
crucial moment. This game has none of that.
Yeah.
That's and
Yeah,
so it's
nobody
like
knew what it was.
it has absolutely none of that. It has nothing to hang its hat on. I don't know a single actor in this game.
I don't know, I was looking at some of them and I was like, "This person looks familiar. I
Like
know
they
I've
are
seen
definitely been
before."
character actors in some of the stuff I probably watched, but
Mhm.
I can't name anybody.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And
They don't have any
everybody,
big names. Like
no,
how Supermassive always tries to get, "Oh, we have Ashley Tisdale, we got Brenda Song, we have, Sean, Iceman, whatever his name is."
what's
They
his?
always try to
They
get
also have what's his name? Who became Remy Malik? Is that his name?
Oh, yeah, and Until Dawn, there you go.
They got him before he became like a household name.
Yeah. I think they had
So and
they have a
then
whole bunch of people.
Detroit Become Human had the dude from Grey's Anatomy,
Mhm.
the black doctor from Grey's Anatomy,
Yep.
a
The
couple
girl
other
from
people.
one of my favorite show with, Kevin Bacon on Fox that only
The
got 2
Following?
seasons. Yeah,
I
she was
like
in
that
that.
show.
She was
Oh
great.
yeah, she was. Yeah,
She
yeah,
was
yeah.
great.
Okay. So it's
Anyway,
like
we're gonna
a
distract.
lot of these like narrative-based games, they rely on big name talent.
Mhm.
Not to carry it, because obviously the developers are carrying this game and the
Right.
writers are carrying the game.
Yeah.
But like that's a big help as well
Of
to
course.
market the game. This game
But
has none of that. It's so good. The story is so, and the thing is about it, you're not even in book 2.
I
Book
know. But what I want to say though is because you did touch on it. You said like the character actors, they are supposed to help a lot because of their name and brand awareness and all of that.
yeah.
But I will say the characters, because this is a game that is also fully voice acted, and the voice acting is very good in this game. Like
Yeah.
I don't know who any of these people are. I don't know who these actors are, but the voice actors are very like good. They definitely help to deliver the lines and the story and make it as good
Absolutely.
as it is. So not only does the story have top tier, I'm talking like AMC, HBO writing, like on a Breaking Bad or I don't know what's a good HBO show.
So
Not Game of Thrones. That's
here's the
trash.
thing. I wouldn't put it that high. I wouldn't.
You
I
wouldn't?
wouldn't
I
put it.
would definitely.
No,
Well,
I
so
wouldn't.
far, from what I've seen on book 1, I would put it there.
I would put it. Have you ever seen A Place Beyond the Pines?
No, not yet.
If you like this, Alfredo, you should watch that movie, because that movie, it honestly has the same like narrative style. Not to spoil book 2 or anything, but like there is a time skip of some sorts. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I
And
think they mentioned
it's
that.
like almost like not even a generational thing, but it's like it's showing like the effects of like the wounds of the past and how
Right,
it
right.
affects. And the Place Beyond the Pines kind of like that, where it's like there's this father who's a fuck up, and because of his fuck ups, his kid, the movie like basically time skips
Mhm.
to after he's like done his bad deeds, and now the kid has to deal with the ramifications of him doing
Got
that.
it.
And this narrative feels of that same ilk. It's not 1-to-1, because that would be
Mhm,
boring, but it's like that same kind of theme of like getting over your wounds.
mhm.
And I really, really, really like every single character.
Well, I haven't even.
Everybody has great characterization.
Except Joyce, she sucks. Anyway,
Which one's Joyce?
Joyce is that stupid girl. I'm
Are you
so
talking about the
mad. I can't
lady?
even say why I'm mad at her.
No, but the lady
It's the lady in
who works in
the
the
motel.
thing.
Yeah, she
Well,
got
I
my
don't.
damn nerves.
Okay, after this podcast, I'm going to
Goddamn
ask you what
Joyce.
happened with Joyce, because maybe we
Whew.
had 2 different situations, and that's
Anyway.
the thing. That's why I want to have a conversation, and we're going to plan to hopefully do a spoiler cast, because
Yes, we
I
need
want to
to
see how different our narratives turned out to be.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying how this game also is showing how your choices affect the story. And it's not like the first time any game has done this. So like all of Supermassive games, all of Telltale, they all have the quote unquote line of your choices matter and one small choice can affect what actually happens. So just like those games, this game has a way of showing that, which is very, very similar to how Detroit Becoming Human did. Basically, at the end of each chapter, they have a whole roadmap showing, oh, you made this choice, so this is what happens, and this is how it branches out from all of the different stories.
Yeah.
So I'm really enjoying just seeing how not only how my choices are branching off, but also like what percentage of other players made this choice, and stuff like that. Because it's pretty interesting because some of them they're like 50-50. Some of them are like 20%. One of the choices I made, only 4% made the same choice. And I was like, damn. It's just really, really cool just seeing like how your choices actually affect the story and what other choices that other people are making. And it's done so well because you can see visually at the end of the chapter, okay, at the end of this chapter, there's 4 different ending places, basically, like, and which one did you get?
Right.
So it's just very cool. The narrative is just like Thomas said, is what makes this game so great, because it's not the gameplay per se, because there's very little gameplay. Like I said, it's more of an interactive story, but the story itself is just so good that it's so good to the point where there are very few games that I can think of having a memorable story like this one does so far. I'm hoping that it doesn't break apart in the second book, but just where I ended on the first book, like it's a very, very, very strong narrative game. And I would be shocked if this didn't win multiple narrative game of the years this year.
Yeah, I'm curious as to because there's a part in the game for me that it felt towards the end, not to spoil anything, but it's really hard to spoil just because I feel like we're gonna have different endings anyways.
Right.
But it felt like there was always going to be an encounter that happens
Yes.
regardless
I
of how
agree.
regardless of how you made your choices.
Yep.
And so like some of the character feelings that was going on there, I'm like, well, if I had made a different choice, this would make a lot more sense.
Okay.
You
I
know?
haven't had
But since
I
I'm
haven't
in the
had that.
situation, I'm sitting there like, why are you so upset about this specific situation? I can't wait till you finish the game so I can go more into depth about it.
Mhm.
And also, like, I'm going to play it again. And that's why
I don't think I will.
I think
I
I
don't wanna
absolutely
ruin it
will.
for
I think I
myself.
will because that's how I know it's a really good narrative game because the only ones I've done that with are the ones that I really love.
Mhm.
I did that with Batman, the Telltale. I did that with Tales from the Borderlands. I did that with what was the other one? Missing it. But you know, whenever I have one of those that I really connect to, like they hook me in a different way than I don't even consider them really video games, really. They're more
Yeah.
like
They're movies. I
yeah,
feel
they're
like they're
movies.
movies that you
I
interact with.
like that, you know, because I like visual novels.
Right.
No, Steins Gate's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Steins Gate is kind of like I feel like Steins Gate's the most like this. So
Okay.
anybody who likes this, I think you should try out some visual novels made from our good folks in the East in Japan,
Mhm.
because this is honestly on that same wave. Obviously,
Yeah.
they're not doing it from an artistic standpoint the same way, because this is it becomes beautiful at some points how the still pictures move with the backgrounds.
Mhm.
That I think really does like make it beside the story, it makes it so unique.
I
And I
agree.
don't think either one would be as good without the other. Like, I don't think you have this, if you have this art style and this like kind of like way you're presenting the game and the story shit, it's like, it is what it is. If you have this amazing story, but like it's just like telltale people walking around, I don't think it's as good as what we got right here. I
Oh
think
yeah,
this was
definitely not.
I think this is a perfect tandem of these two like really core ideas just coming
Right.
together.
And
Yeah.
the art really makes it so because it is stop motion, and it's kind of what you were saying, Thomas, about how Telltale, if people were just walking around, it wouldn't feel as good because there's a difference between them walking around and this having the stops in between the different frames of what the character is doing, because you kind of fill in like in your mind what is actually happening in between, because there are fight scenes in this game and there is a lot of action in this game as well, and it's stop motion, so it's showing one frame then another thing, so like the cause and the effect, and you're kind of filling in what is happening in between those frames.
Yeah.
And I really like that.
Also, shouts out to it not being super CPU heavy, because I
Oh
was
yeah.
playing this and I was playing Power Wash Simulator at the same time.
It's so disrespectful. How
That's
dare
not,
you not give the
I have
game its due diligence?
I think I can do it right
Shame
now. Hold
on
on.
you.
I have
Shame on
two
I
monitors.
I
I
don't
have two
care.
monitors. I can
I
I
don't
can
care.
I can focus on two. We can walk and chew gum at the same time.
No, we can't. We gotta pick one. Chew
Oh
or
my
walk.
gosh.
I will say though, going back, this is the last thing I'll say about the game.
Go ahead.
The so far this is a 9 out of 10,
Ooh,
and
that's
the
high.
reason why
Ooh,
I
that's really
can't,
high. Okay.
yeah, I'm loving
Respect.
this game.
Respect.
And the only reason why it's not a 10 out of 10 is what you alluded to, of the game having a little bit of the illusion of your choices matter in every circumstance. When in reality, okay, there's no possible way they could do that, right? That would be way too much resources. So like at some point they kind of have to railroad you into these situations. So in some situations I did find myself being like, I wouldn't do either of these things at all, but you have to make a choice. Like you don't
Right.
have the decision to do nothing or to do what you would actually do. They're both bad choices. But I will also say that is counteracted with the fact that a lot of times they will have two choices that I always had to think, oh, I don't know which one I should choose. And this is the first time I have had a game like that where it hasn't always been, oh, I'll do this one. I haven't really had to think about it that much. I might
Mhm.
have to have had that situation where, I have to do that 2-3 times in a game. But with this game, I'm always thinking to myself, oh my God, I don't know what to choose. Like every other
Mhm.
decision has been like that, which I really respect, as opposed to it just being pick the right option or pick the wrong option. So,
Also, I like how the decisions that don't really matter have a like time limit, but the big decisions, you can kind of take your time. I
I
do
don't
like that.
I don't know about that because I made a seemingly small decision and it had a huge impact
Well, no, I'm
later on.
saying like, yeah, you're right. Those small,
But
I'm
yeah,
not saying
yeah.
they don't matter, but I'm saying there are points in the game where it's like, choose one of these
Mhm.
important decisions,
Yep.
and they don't put a timer on those. Where on a Telltale game, there is a timer on pretty much every decision.
Yep.
So it's like I like that aspect of it. Yeah, it does a lot of little things really well.
Mhm.
And 9 out of 10 is high, but I don't blame you for going that far.
I can't
I
wait to
I'd
finish
probably be
this.
closer to an 8 out of 10 because when you talk about 9, then it's like that's in my game of the year discussion, and I have to really think
Well,
about
yeah. That's where it's at for me, but I still have to finish it. You've already finished it, so
it. Yeah, I definitely want to see what your opinion is in book two. I
yeah,
think book two is
totally.
better than book one, but that's
Oh,
just me.
really? Okay.
But at the same time, book two is where I kind of saw some of the flaws too.
Mhm.
So your
Okay.
miles will vary. But yeah, I'm glad you got a chance to play a good amount of it. Can't wait till you finish it.
Yeah, great game, great game. What are you playing, Thomas?
So I've been playing obviously at Dust Falls as well. Played Stray. We'll talk about Stray in a second. I've been playing a bit of GTA 5 on PC.
Okay. That's usually Cole's territory. What are you doing over there?
So yeah, I peeked in, I peeked into the territory. I was like, I haven't been down these Los Santos roads in a long time. It,
Mm.
it's been a good minute since I've really entered the city. Now I am not going to be playing GT Online. I'm not gonna do it.
Oh, why? I heard that's the best part.
I've done it before. I put my time in. I
Yeah,
don't want
but
to get I
that's
don't want to
so
get wrapped up in it again.
but you are playing on PC, I assume, and you have access to mods, right?
Yes. So
Okay.
I've been playing through because I never played on PC for Grand
Right.
Theft Auto ever. Like I've never even thought to do it. And so I saw it like an online thing, like, oh, $12 for the online version of GTA 5. I was thinking about getting it on PlayStation 5. And I was like,
Mhm.
wait. I can get it on PC and it's gonna look even better, and I can do mods. I was like, yeah, no, that's
Right.
not a question. Especially since the $10
Best of
upgrade,
both worlds.
it's a $10 upgrade on PlayStation 5. So I was like, fuck it. So did that. And man, it's almost like a new game. Like I've played this game. I've beaten GTA 5 probably 3 times.
Oh, wow, okay. You're a
I
veteran
put
then.
Yeah, I love it. I love the game. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I beat it on PlayStation 3, beat it on PlayStation 4, and I definitely replayed it on PlayStation 4 at one point.
Mm.
So this is the first time going through it on PC and
And you
running it.
you got caught in the Rockstar machine, just buying every version that got you.
Yeah, I mean, look,
You're the problem. You're part
at
of the
least
problem.
this one was $12 from some random website.
Fair, fair.
I can fairly say like I got a good value off of this because this is, I mean, when you start putting mods into the equation, it's almost like cheat codes on steroids.
Mhm.
And if you're not a real one if you never did GTA cheat codes. That's like one of the staples I feel like of like
Oh my
my
god.
young video gaming years of like
Everyone gotta have that unlimited,
unlimited
money.
ammo,
Get the
all the
tank.
guns, right?
Get all the guns. Change your character
No, like
to
and
NPC.
infinite health.
Yep.
Like, yeah,
All of
it's
them.
like I feel like that's just a staple of my video game makeup. And so having the mods, like being able to have a conversation, like the one thing that I think is the most memeable moment from GTA 5 is that first interaction with Lamar and Franklin.
Mhm.
And like everybody mods the shit out of that, where it's like they'll put like Simba, Mufasa there, they'll put like Batman, Superman there. And so just playing around with those mods, I was like, wow, this is like a completely different thing now. Like this is a whole new world. And then also just running it at like 120 frames, I always thought GTA always felt slow. No longer. Like on PC, that thing actually feels very responsive. Feels like a different game. It feels like I recommend anybody who's played GTA 5 is like, oh, I don't like the controls are it's a little weird, it's a little slow. Play it on PC and see if you have a PC that, as long as it can run it at a high frame rate, because I don't even put it up to like max settings. I just put it up to as high as a frame rate as I can and just run it normally. And to me, that's enough to make it a completely different experience.
Yeah, I remember having that same kind of experience as well when I first ventured into PC gaming, and I went from always having lock 30, on our PS4s and whatever. Then I got like 60 frames, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, it's a different experience. And
I
like
can only imagine what 120 is going to be like.
Yeah, I mean, it's at some point there is like a diminishing returns type thing where it's like the jump to 120 is definitely not as noticeable as the jump to 60.
Okay.
That jump from 30 to 60 is
I just want to see. I just want to see.
Yeah. What kind of monitor you got? You got a monitor that does
No, I can't. Actually 144 hertz.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So it should be good.
You can be good. Yeah, just run. I mean, I don't know what PC you have, but you could just run the game at like, medium settings just to test it out to see if it will have good frame rate and just up it from there. Yeah, I've been experimenting. I also experimented with Skyrim because that's on Game Pass. So I just
of course it's on everything, on fridges.
Yep, on fridges, on PC
on
for sure.
Pads, probably.
Yes. So yeah, Witcher as well. Just like going into PC gaming is definitely a different world for me. I probably am going to do a whole video just on like my adventures into this new space because it's almost like getting a new console.
Right.
But yeah, besides GTA though, obviously I've been playing Power Wash Simulator. Everybody needs to hop on that whenever possible. I need the Dukes. We got to clean.
Need to do that.
I know we got to clean the house. There's a house that I'm struggling with. I can use some Dukes. We get this money. We get paid for the job.
I got you.
All right, cool. But
once I download it.
But yeah, I guess we can get into our first top.
Well, aren't you playing something else? Something?
Did we mention a little bit? Oh, okay. We mentioned in the pre-show. I haven't played enough of it, but I did get in the mail my copy of Live a Live.
Nice.
And
just last week, you were just saying, I can't justify buying Live a Live because I have Octopath Traveler, blah, blah, blah. And this week, you come in here and say, oh, I got it.
You know what's sad, Alfredo?
What?
I bought it that night.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
It was like, I can't resist. Look, like, I just chalk it up to, I'm going to play. It wasn't Octopath. It was Triangle Strategy.
Okay.
So that made more sense to me because they're literally the same art style.
Right.
And there really isn't any excuse why I haven't played Triangle Strategy. Like, it's honestly, to the developers of that game,
it's a good game.
I'm sorry. I love tactics games. I love that art style. I don't know what the fuck I've been doing.
Yeah, and the game is really good.
Yeah,
not really good, but it's good. It's good.
I feel like that has potential to be my game of the year, and I'm afraid of it.
I don't think it will be, but
I
finished it.
You doubt my love for tactics games.
I don't think it'll be your game.
Like Fire Emblem Three Houses, whatever year that came out was probably my game of the year that year.
Yeah, but Fire Emblem is on a different tier from Triangle.
Unless that came out that came out 2018.
I don't even know, to be honest.
If it did, then not Spider-Man. But I love tactics games, so I'm definitely gonna play through. It's a damn shame that I bought Live a Live, and I'm gonna beat Live a Live before I beat Triangle Strategy.
Well,
and Triangle Strategy has been here this whole time.
We'll check in with you in 2 weeks, and you're like,
I'll be JRPG. I'll be JRPG'd out. My plan is to play every day. I'm gonna play a different one of these storylines.
Okay.
Because I think each one's like 2 hours.
Okay.
So I'll finish one. I'm gonna finish one tonight after we get off here.
Nice little bite-sized chunks.
Yeah, and then I think by the end of the week I'll be done, and because I'm sure one day I'll do two. But yeah, just be done by the end of the week, and then I'll have my full thoughts for the next podcast.
Nice.
So, but yeah, besides that, though, I'm only 20 minutes in, so I really can't speak much to it. One game I'm pretty deep in, and I think you are too, is Stray. And let's give our kind of first impressions on this, because this is a PlayStation Plus exclusive, console exclusive. Anybody who
PC, though.
is on PC as well, you can get on Steam. You can, if you have extra or premium for the PlayStation Plus, you get this game for free. It's a AA game of some sort. I guess a AA game is probably the best way to describe it. I think it's very good. I think it's very good. I think Alfredo, I like it as much as Dust Falls.
What?
Okay,
I was going to let it slide. I was going to say, this game is good. This game is good. It's not a great game. But to say that it's as good as Dust Falls, blasphemy.
No, I think it is, because I think there's such different games, but they're all about like this feeling of loss. And I do think it's very interesting that both these games came out for competing platforms.
That's true.
On their free services. You know, I think it's very interesting because to me, they match each other. It's like the yin to the other's yang to me, because one is like taking place in the real world and telling this AMC like story. And then this other one is taking place, I'm more associated with like a Netflix kind of short thing where it's like kind of taking place on like
that makes sense. Yeah.
Like a post cyberpunk world, you know, like I entered for the cat. Because I was like, that's interesting. That's a cool little gimmick. I don't think we ever played as a cat before. That's cool.
There's a couple games where you play as a cat, but not like this.
But not with this level of like detail.
Not like a platform puzzler kind of like with this level of detail.
For God's sake, the first button you learn is how to meow. So it's like these developers knew what they were doing when they were creating this game. And I stayed because the actual storytelling is, I think, I'd argue, profound. I think a lot of the like subtle world building that this game does makes me feel like you might have a low-key franchise on your hands. Because the way the story is feeling to me, it's like you can expand on this a little bit.
Yeah.
I really like the story. I really like the puzzles. I'm not a puzzle guy. Like whenever it comes to like Uncharted, my least favorite elements of those games are like the puzzles. Like in that rings true for all these third person action games. Like they always have these little puzzle sections. The only one that I could tolerate was Spider-Man's. Besides that, all those
had puzzles. Yeah, I remember.
The little lab. So I love it. I could eat that stuff up. But most times, like when it comes to these puzzle levels, I can't do them. I hate them. This game is all that, but the puzzles are not hard.
Yeah.
So I just love it. And the one thing I will say, please patch in a map. That's awesome.
Well, yeah, that. So I don't feel as strongly about this game as you do, and the vast majority of people who have played this game apparently, because when you look at Steam, you see that this game has a 97% overwhelmingly positive rating, which is crazy. With people saying, "Oh, this is game of the year" and all that. You can be a cat. You know, I feel like this game is. It's the same way, you know, it's upvoted because of cat. You know how people say
no, okay. Maybe it's a 97 because of cat. Maybe it's a 97.
It definitely is.
Maybe a 97. But I feel like it deserves to be in the 90s. I really do. Because the one thing I will say, this game is like the It Takes Two of this year. To me,
hard disagree.
In terms of like, it's obviously not a Mario platformer, but I'm a fan of. Even though I'm not the biggest, like I don't love It Takes Two, but I respect the hell out of that game, mostly because it knows what it's doing and it knows what it is. Like when it introduces mechanics, it knows when to take them away and introduce a new mechanic. That is the really like common thing I see between It Takes Two and this, where it's like it's very confident in what it wants you to do right now. The
I
game
guess
feels confident. Like there's a confidence that is associated to me with how this game is constructed.
I guess that's where I'm struggling with this game. So me and Thomas are both almost done. I think we're around the same place. We're both around 5 hours, so
Mhm.
we're almost in the game. And where I'm finding my issue with the game is I like the game. I think it's fine. I think it's a good game. I don't think it's a great game because of specifically the lack of diversity in the game of gameplay diversity is what I mean.
Mhm.
Because you're a cat. Like this is a cat person's game. Like this is just a chill game where you're just a cat. You're just doing things because you're a cat. For me, there's all you're doing is running around. Sometimes there's enemies to run around. One section they had a part where you can, oh, here's this additional gameplay, but then they immediately take it away from you like 5-10 minutes later, and you just don't have it anymore. So it's just you kind of doing the same things, and it's very,
But you're a
in
cat.
that regard, some people like it because it's very chill. You can just chill and play this nice little adventure game. You don't have to think about it too hard. You're just chilling. You're a cat, right? For me, when I turn to games, I need some gameplay diversity. Like I need more than just going from point A to point B, and kind of like a point and click classic adventure where it's like, oh, you need item A, go find where item A is. Oh, this person has item A, but you have to get item B in order to get item A. It kind of feels like a fed quest, and that's pretty
Mhm.
much the whole entire game. Aside from, you're always trying to get something
Mhm.
to trade with another person. Classic adventure game, which is fine. But I'm looking for a little bit more than that. I'm looking for more mechanics than just walking around, sometimes getting lost, which is fine in the city because there's no map.
That's my least favorite
I'm
part of the
just
game for
looking for
sure.
more.
That's definitely getting lost is definitely aggravating. I don't
Hey,
like
I
that.
will say I was because I'm in the second major city right now. There's one major city that you first get in, and I got so lost starting out, and I was like, "Oh, I need a map. I hate this game. I don't know where I'm going." But as I started going through the city, I started being like, "Oh, I know exactly where I am." It kind of started feeling like kind of like New York where you're like, "Oh, like there's just so much around, you're in a new place, you don't know what's going on." But as I started, exploring to get item A, then item B, I started recognizing, oh, I have to go to the bar for that. And I know where the bar is right around the corner. Oh, I have to go to this person's house. And this is how you get in through the back alley. So I thought it was pretty cool how I went from, oh my God, I need a map to, okay, like they want me to learn the city naturally. And I
Mhm.
had to because I didn't have the map. So I actually like that about the game, how it flipped my perspective on that. But I just need more gameplay diversity. That's all I'm saying.
Nah, I'm
It's
good.
too it's too chill of a game for me. I
But
like
to me,
it.
that's the
It's
point,
beautiful,
though.
but too chill. I think it
That
is
for,
the point.
yeah, for me, that's the point. Like, I love the fact that it's not trying to do the most. Like, if it was cat combat, I'm out. I'm out. Like, I don't need that. I like the fact that you're a cat. Also, I am a sucker for a city level in the game. Like,
Mhm.
I hate
They got
underwater
cities.
levels, but city levels, like, just insert it in my veins. Like, I don't know what it is about it. You talk about like New Donk City, you talk about Bayonetta 2, you talk about Sonic Adventure. Like, I love city levels. And to me, this might be the best city I've played in the game. Like,
Yeah. I kind of agree with that. Yeah.
I love that. Like, this game speaks to me in a lot of ways. I'm a music guy, I'm a sound guy. This is
Oh,
the
the music,
best
so good.
this is the best sound music I've heard all year in a video game.
Yep.
I will be shocked if that changes
Yep.
because this is implemented so well. Like there's so many different genres. There's like ragtime music in here, and then there are like techno beats. Then there are deep house beats. It's like there is everything for a music lover to like. If you're a cat lover, you're gonna absolutely love this game. If you
Mhm.
like exploring a city, you're gonna love this game. If you like puzzlers, you're gonna like this game. And to me, like I don't know if I can rate it above as Dust Falls. I'm not. I feel like we're only comparing them because they came out the same
Yeah.
time. But
They're very different games as well.
they're very different games, but I feel like they both kind of tackle this feeling of loss really well. Because like the whole game, like Stray is about, like, think about it. It's because it's a stray cat. Not to get into spoilers, but it's a stray cat.
Yeah.
And you meet a robot who is like
Kinda
a stray
stray
robot.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like there's this feeling of loneliness there that I really love. Like it's not like super deep or anything, but it's like I like that it's like surface level deep at least. You know?
I guess that's another one of my low points. So the high points of this game, there's only one really high point for this game. Actually, no, two. It's really beautiful. It is a nice game to look at.
Mhm.
And the world building of this game is really, really good. Like the lore and the concept of, basically, not to get too much into spoilers, but the concept of this world that you're in is basically all the humans, quote unquote humans, all of the people that you meet are robots in this game.
Yeah, it's like the cyberpunk world went bad.
Yeah, and they're all robots with class monitor heads, literally, and they express themselves with these little pixelated eyes, pixelated mouths. But they're all robots, and they basically are continuing doing human things because that's just what they were programmed to do, basically. So they're trying to do human things like eating and cooking, even though they don't need those things to do so. So it's kind of cool just exploring the world and seeing exactly what exactly the robots are doing, what conversations they're having, the little pieces of lore to see that they drop to say, oh, the world got this way because this happened, and you're trying to unravel that. So the lore of this game and the world that they built is very, very good. And I would love if they explored this again. Just maybe not as a cat is all I'm saying. Because being the cat, that's the weak part of the game. The gameplay for me, the gameplay is very, very weak. There's not much to do. I will say.
Would you play it if it was like a stray dog?
Oh,
Like,
of course.
honestly though, if they made that as a sequel, that is honestly some perfect shit.
That is. I would play that. In a
Or
heartbeat.
what if they made it co-op and one person's the cat, one person's the dog?
That'd be great. That'd be great. They
That
won't
would be
do
great.
it. That
They
would
will
be
not do that. But I think there's a big chance that they might do Stray 2 and it's a dog. I can see that.
Oh, that'd be so good.
I would love that. Honestly, I probably would like that more than Stray.
But then would the cat people be mad? Would it be
No,
up in arms?
the cat's gonna make a cameo.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's gonna
yeah,
happen.
that's
But
true.
I like this world. I would like to see more adventures take place in this world.
Yes, me too.
I feel like it's too good of an idea in terms of the lore they've made
Mhm,
to just be one indie game.
exactly.
And I feel like this game, between this and As Dusk Falls, this definitely won the week in terms of the hype.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Like I've seen a
Because
lot
it's
of people
cat.
stream this game. Yeah.
I
So
vote
it's like
because cat.
this is gonna like I can confidently say this is gonna be on some game of the year list.
Probably.
I don't
Does
think
it
As
deserve
Dusk
that?
Falls is
No.
gonna be on any game of the year.
I think it will for narrative.
It got a 76 on
I think it will
Metacritic. I
still.
don't know.
Most people are wrong, but
They are absolutely wrong.
They're wrong.
But I don't think that that game is going to be talked about in the same way. Because
I agree.
like
Yeah.
I don't think any narrative game besides The Walking Dead, I can't name another one that ever got in that conversation.
Yeah, Until Dawn, but that's because they did, the horror.
I feel like
campy
that was
vibe.
more of like there were no PlayStation games out at the time, and then Until Dawn came out, and it was like this beacon of light. Like, oh my god!
I mean,
it's a good
yeah,
game.
it was.
Oh my
it
god!
is a little
It's
bit
not. It's a game that's not
Right.
Killzone. Oh my god!
pretty much.
But yeah, no, I think As Dusk Falls is not going to be in the game of year conversation. It might be in mine.
I think As Dusk Falls will win narrative game of the year award.
It's not
I
better than
really
last year's narrative game of the year.
I think it is so far. I haven't finished, but
Wait. Do we agree that
Better than
last year's best
Guardian-
narrative is Guardians of the Galaxy?
yes, we do.
You think it's better than Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yep, so
wow.
far.
You're crazy.
We're talking about Stray right now. We'll
You-
talk about that later.
Dude, I'm talking
We'll
about
talk
As
about
Dusk
that during
Falls.
game of the year.
Oh my
What?
god! Oh my god! You said it's better than game. Oh my god!
It is better than Guardians.
I can't believe.
Anyway, for Stray, the story, right?
Mhm.
The story for me, it's not there. I don't care. It tries in the very beginning of the game, you get separated from your cat family, and as the Stray, as you're clawing up, your family is just looking at you like they don't give
What
a
do you want the
shit.
cats to
They
do?
don't-
You
they
want
don't
you
give
want
a
the cats to be making like these unrealistic emotions?
Where's
Like,
my
that is
anime cat tier?
Alfredo, that's legit. You
Just
know
kidding.
that's how a cat would be if that happened. It'd be like,
I know,
"Dang,
but
bro."
I'm just saying, I don't think it's right to say, oh, this game is about loss because the cats don't give a damn. They're cats. They don't care. The cats don't.
No,
We
it's
as a
about
stray, we don't care that
That's
much.
just
We're
an
just living.
no. That's just an aspect of the cat. I'm saying the other aspect is the robot who's
Mhm.
also experiencing loss, and pretty
Yeah.
much this whole world that has lost the human race.
Yes,
There's like a
but-
feeling of like honestly, I'm not thinking of the cat story when I'm thinking about the
Well, that's
story.
what I'm
Like
saying.
the cat story is honestly like the cat doesn't talk, so it's
Yeah.
like there's no like. You know the end goal is to get the cat to his family.
Well,
But
that's
that's almost like a
another
subplot. That's the catalyst of how we get the cat in this world. But it's not like it's almost like in Fallout 4. I don't know if you played that, but
Yeah.
like you start that game with, oh, your baby is
Yeah,
kidnapped.
find your baby.
But that's not why
not
you're
the
playing
goal.
Fallout 4. It's
I
kind of the
know,
same
I-
thing. It's like the cat lost his family. Yeah, you trying to find the cat's family, but what's going on with this world though?
Okay,
That's what
yeah,
matters.
but one, I forgot my first one. But two, the robot, I don't really care about his like what's going on with him
You
as well.
mad,
Like
man.
I know that they're trying to make me care, but I don't care. I don't care.
You mad, man.
Oh,
but
I remembered my number one. Why can how is this cat doing all this? How does it understand? Oh, you need to get this electric cable, then you need to get this to trade in.
I asked that question.
How is it doing this?
I asked that
What?
question to my cat friend, who I will not name. Put the headcanon in of cats always know what we're saying.
Whatever. They don't know.
And I was like,
don't
okay,
know.
that does explain that. And that's not like out of the realm what some cat people believe. So I'm like, okay, from that standpoint, it makes sense. But no, from just a regular standpoint, that's not it.
But you know what the most unbelievable part is? Okay, they know we need to get like item A to get item B, right? Why would the cat be willing to go out of its way to do all of this stuff for another person? We all know that cats are selfish. Okay,
Yeah, but
this cat would not care about the robot.
That cat is self-sufficient. He's like, I need to get back to my family. I'm gonna do whatever
But
it takes.
He doesn't care about his family. We know he doesn't.
He
We
don't want
know
to starve.
What?
He don't want to starve by himself. He wants to be with his family.
He wants. Hey, the way I look at it, it's easier to feed for yourself instead of the whole cat family. You know, that's what the cat's probably thinking. You got to think like a cat.
Man, if I'm in an apocalypse, I'm not gonna be by myself, Alfredo.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh no.
I'm just saying there's plot holes, Thomas.
All right, Mad Max. All right. So speaking of apocalyptic situations, in a literal and figurative sense, Sony has released footage of The Last of Us. Naughty Dog in particular has released footage of The Last of Us remake that I believe in gameplay. And I believe all the Dukes have been in tandem that we are not going to be buying this.
Nope.
But this was the opportunity to show me if it's something worth buying.
For $70.
For $70, is this worth the cost of admission? Alfredo, did this do anything for you?
Once again, nope. You know what was amazing about this video? It felt like they were trying to sell us the idea that this is worth the $70 price tag. This isn't a cash grab. And this is why, look, we have accessibility. Look at all the gameplay that we added, which isn't much, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
It was part gameplay, part developers and Neil Druckmann telling us why, how much work they put in and all that, which I believe it's very obvious that they did.
But can we be real? Can we be real, Alfredo? Making video games in general is hard.
Yeah.
So it's like you showing me all this stuff and you like telling me this was a really tough process. It's always a tough process. It's a tough process. It's a tough process to make Far Cry 6.
I mean,
you know, like we know making video games are hard. like that. Honest, not to take over your thing, but it's just like that.
Oh, you're good.
Honestly, blew me a bit. I'm like,
Well,
we're really trying to make it seem like this is something special compared to the other stuff you've made.
I mean, I do believe them when they say it, but yeah,
I'm
everything
not saying I
started.
don't believe them. I'm saying like it's almost like you're trying to appeal to my like sympathy, you know? Like
And it was, I think it was because the crazy part is that I felt like this wasn't geared toward gamers because they literally were showing in their gameplay footage, in the video footage, they were showing the AI maps, like the stuff behind the scenes that were happening that, us as the players could never see.
that
But
was
they were showing that with
no, but
all
that
the
was part of
arrows and
I felt that was part of where I'm like, you're just trying to make it seem like y'all did something really crazy.
yeah,
You
which
know,
they
like,
probably did, but
yeah,
like we're not
we
the
know
audience
making
for that.
video games is hard. But
Yeah.
do I believe that making The Last of Us Remake Part 1 was a harder endeavor than making The Last of Us Part 2 or Uncharted 4 or the original Last of Us? Hell no. Like, no. Like, we know this is one of the best developers in the game. Like, this is for sure. Like, you can't name top 5 developers without at least putting Naughty Dog in that top 5 off just stats alone.
Mhm.
We know these people make amazing games. And I will never call a game a cash grab because every game's a cash grab to some extent.
There's
No
value.
game is made out of just straight labor of love. Maybe you can
Yeah.
say something like The Witness or
Hey,
like
there are free
Stardew
games.
Valley,
There
you
are free
know?
games out there. What wasn't Flappy Bird free? I mean, he did make like
He
$20
made
million
hella
though.
money off advertising, so
He
no.
did.
No. That's probably a definition of a cash grab right there. But
He
like,
even took off the Flappy Bird. He took it off the Apple Store because it was making too much money and people were spending money on it. And he
well,
was like, "Don't buy this
maybe
game."
he's the one altruist in the world
I
who
mean,
wanted to
doubtful,
make
but
his game for
maybe.
free. But most games that are made out of a combination of labor of love and financial potential. So each game is a cash grab. So I don't like it when people are saying, and I feel like the hate for Last of Us 2 has somehow spilled over into this game too.
Maybe I can see
I
that.
think that's a part of it. So it's weird to be on the same side as all those people because those people are crazy. Like those, I genuinely
Wow, you
believe
just
those
saying it,
people,
huh?
not people who hate The Last of Us, but like I feel like a certain segment of people hate The Last of Us too. Because there's a certain segment of people who like, I saw the leaks and I just didn't even try it. I just read the story and I knew I wasn't gonna like it. You know, like that segment of
That's just
people.
that's just classic internet being internet.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a
Yeah.
piece of why it's some hate for this thing has come out. Like, oh, here we go, another Naughty Dog cash grab. So I'm like, I'm not in favor of all that. I'm just saying from my standpoint of somebody who is the first time I played Last of Us was Last of Us on PS4. So I bought the remastered edition PlayStation 4 like 2014. Replayed that game like twice. Love that game. Love that game. That game got a PlayStation 5 update. So there's really no loading screens anymore. Like the game will I was playing through it just a couple months ago, just downloaded it, and the game was loading incredibly quick.
Yeah, I remember playing it right before Last of Us Part 2 came out, and I remember it vividly, and it didn't need a remake.
Now the
Definitely.
problem is, the thing is, could I have used a remake that uses the actual combat of Last of Us Part 2? Yeah. Because I'll go to the grave. Last of Us Part 2 probably has the best third person combat I've ever played. Like
But that's the thing. But that's the thing, Thomas, because from what they showed us, this is not Last of Us Part 2 combat.
right.
There's
That's the
no
thing. You sold
dodging.
me a false bag of goods,
Right. Yeah.
Because that was the only thing that would like if you show me gameplay and it's literally that like Joel's moving like Abby, because Abby is kind of based on Joel's game, like kind of
Yeah, a
play.
younger Joel.
Right. She moves athletic, but she punches hard like Joel. So it's like that was kind of what that her like gameplay was based on. And if you had made it like that, I've been good. I've been fine, but it's not like that. It's obviously not like that. It's
there's no dodging. There's no crawling.
I'm sure the shooting is going to be a little better. I'm sure that they're going to address that.
There'll be haptics, which they did show, but it's not Last of Us Part 2 combat. You know, they updated the AI, so I'm sure we might get, clickers against against other humans, kind of like that. But we're not going to get anything else from this. Everything else just looks prettier. That's what they showed us. It looks prettier. There's some things here and there. There's haptics now. There's 3D sound. But other than that, it's a remastered game.
I know you picked it, but are you worried? Are you worried about this a little bit?
I'm a little worried because I did pick it for the fantasy draft. I am a little worried
because I get kind of mad when we see these re-release games come out and they're just like score really high. I'm like, it's the same game.
I think that's why it's secure. I think it'll still be secure because I think it will still rate highly. Because whenever we see remasters, then they always, regardless of what they change or what they update, they always rate high, like always. Because people are just saying, oh, yeah, this is the definitive way of experiencing game A. I think it will be the same thing with this. And let's be real, people are gonna buy this game for $70. It might not be.
I really don't. That's the thing I'm not for sure of. Because I looked into it. Last of Us Part 2 didn't sell like gangbusters. Like Last of Us Part 2 sold well for it didn't even touch like what The Last of Us 1 sold in the same time.
I need to look at that. But you know what? I think
because I was arguing with somebody online. I was arguing with somebody online, and I was like, "Yeah, Last of Us Part 2 sold a lot." They're like, "No, it didn't. Look at this." I'm
really?
Like,
I didn't know that.
It didn't.
Can you pull up numbers for that? But I will.
They don't. I have to search for them. Like it's hard to find. That's how when I knew like something was up. I'm like, oh, they're not even like really putting it out there that this game sold this much.
Well, what I think will help with that, and also why I think it will also rate highly, is because this is the first time that The Last of Us 1 is coming to PC. So a whole bunch on PC, you can't get an experience like this, other than Horizon is on PC now, and God of War is on PC. This is another one. Both of those have done megaton numbers on PC. Yeah. Yeah, the big thing about Part 1 is that they are releasing it on PS5 and PC. And because of that, that is going to make the mega money because there's no experience like this ever on PC besides, God of War, which is on there now, and Horizon. So they're going to be making money. That's why they're doing it.
So because it says it's launching very soon.
Yeah,
what does that mean?
It should be, they're supposed to be the same day. So September 2nd, I think, is when it should have a global release. So both on PC and PlayStation 5.
I'm sure it'll look beautiful no matter what.
They're going to be rolling in money. They're just trying to convince you that it's worth the money, And to a lot of people, it will. I think it will sell very well. But I personally, based on what we've seen, I don't think it's worth. I will wait for it to either come on, PS Plus Premium if it ever does, or if it hits, that $20 mark, $20, $25. And maybe I'll pick it up. Maybe when Factions finally comes out and I'll be itching to replay Part 1 and Part 2, maybe then if it's below $30, maybe I'll pick it up. But yeah, I'm pretty disappointed just based off of the gameplay that they've been promising us that they did not deliver, in my opinion. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm very much looking forward to see what this game reviews at. I think you're right. It's going to probably review well, but it's weird that it's going to be graded off of essentially like one of the greatest games of all time and not like the remaster, what's changed. Like calling itself a remake and really being a glorified remaster is probably not going to cost them anything.
Yeah, this isn't Resident Evil 2. It's
not Final Fantasy. I feel like Final Fantasy remake is the standard. That's the standard. Then
I mean, even Resident Evil 2, that's the standard too. I would put both of them on the same.
hell, even
level.
Demon Souls, to be honest. Like Demon Souls, that's a remake of a PlayStation 3 game as well.
I still need to play that.
Good game.
It's on PS Plus, I think, right?
It is. You get it for free. It's a good game.
Need to do that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely not of that tier, but we'll see. I hope it goes down in sales by this time next year. That's probably gonna be where I pick it up.
So you can buy for PC now that you know it's a thing.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm not paying $70. Fuck that.
Oh no, not for $70. I mean, like when it drops, like when it goes on steep sale for like $30, maybe.
Maybe God of War be cheap sometimes, so we shall see. So we're gonna play a little game. We're going to play a little game called MFK, which stands for Marry, Fuck, and Kill. And we're gonna marry, fuck, and kill some video games.
And video game characters.
Yeah, so I'm gonna let. I just chose video games, but I wanted to see what you can do for the character.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna let you go first.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Thomas gave me some homework. He told me what I needed to do was pick out 4 separate categories of sorts, but 4 different sections, and put 3 different options for each section. So we're each gonna give each other 4 different categories. So my first category for you, Thomas, is 90s video games. Okay, so your options are GoldenEye, 007, obviously, Super Mario 64, or Final Fantasy 7.
Ooh, okay.
Those are your options. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Never thought I'd say this in my life. I'm fucking Mario.
Okay.
I'm marrying Final Fantasy 7.
Okay.
And I'm killing GoldenEye because I never had love for GoldenEye.
What? Crazy. Well, I didn't have that much love for GoldenEye.
It was a game that I saw my cousins playing, and they gave me the controller that wasn't working, and yeah. I don't.
Oh, so you're bitter.
Yeah,
you're bitter.
A little better. A little better.
Okay. So you said you were marrying Final Fantasy 7?
Yeah, definitely marrying Final Fantasy 7.
Okay, I'm surprised. I thought you would marry Mario. Mario 64.
I like Mario. I love Final Fantasy.
But do you love Final Fantasy 7?
Final Fantasy 7 is my favorite one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 7 is like a whole entire franchise in and of itself.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah, I love Final
All right, what are my categories?
I'm coming out with heat.
Oh no, I was giving you easy ones. I was gonna.
Okay. I'll start with these one. Right.
No, do it. Just rip off the Band-Aid. Kingdom Hearts, Mary.
Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 3.
You can't do that. Okay. Okay. Mary, Kingdom Hearts 2.
Okay.
Maybe. Oh no, this is hard. Why do you do this to me?
This is great.
Okay. I'm gonna marry Kingdom Hearts 2. I'm gonna kill.
You're gonna marry that 2-hour tutorial?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Absolutely.
You love that.
Happily. It's not a tutorial. It's a feature. It's a game. It's a game within a game, Thomas. So yeah, I will marry Kingdom Hearts 2. And then I'm gonna kill 1.
What?
There you go.
Oh, there you go. Okay, I guess that kind of makes sense because 2 is a better version of 1.
Oh yeah. 2 is like chef's kiss. 1 is like, okay, we're getting started. We know, you started this whole thing, but you kind of suck.
2 is 1 with better gameplay and a shittier story.
Not Final Mix. Not Final Mix. Final Mix, it makes sense. Final Mix has a good story.
We'll leave that.
Just trust me. Okay, your turn. All right, so characters this time. That's your category. So we got 3 characters. We got Spyro, Ratchet and Clank, and Jak and Daxter. What are you picking?
You said Spyro, Ratchet and Clank, and Dexter?
Mm-hmm. Ratchet and Clank, and then Jak and Daxter. So Ratchet and Clank are together. Jak and Daxter are together. Spyro's by himself.
So I'd be technically fucking two people if I chose Jack and Daxter.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess I'm choosing
Other
Spyro to fuck, I guess. And
What?
then,
Okay.
yeah. And then I'm definitely gonna marry Ratchet and Clank.
So
And
you're
then
killing Jack and Daxter? Wow.
I didn't have like I played those games recently, honest. I played those games like at the beginning of the pandemic. I just picked up that collection. I was like, you know what, let me go through these. But I didn't have like the like love for them when they came out. Spyro, I played all three of them, like when I was a kid.
I would definitely marry Spyro.
I'm an insomniac. I'm an insomniac kid.
That's fair. You little one. See,
Oh.
I'm giving you easy ones.
Oh, you're gonna have some heaters, I feel. All right, you gotta, or for mine, you have to either you have three choices: Pong, Tetris, Pac-Man.
Okay. A Pong. What was the second one?
Tetris.
Okay, and then Pac-Man. Okay, I'm marrying Pac-Man. Actually,
What you doing? What you doing to Batman?
Right. That's what I'm like. Maybe. No, I think I'll fuck Pac-Man.
Okay.
And then I'll marry Tetris. Kill Pong.
Are you a Tetris fan?
Not really, but I can appreciate, I appreciate what Tetris does for me at the house and everything. But, at the end of the night, I'm going to end up at Pac-Man's place.
Would you? Would you argue? Because I would argue that Tetris is theoretically the best video game ever made.
I wouldn't agree.
Just from the standpoint of you can show literally anybody Tetris.
Yeah.
And they'll get it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's rare you'll find somebody who's never, ever played Tetris.
It's definitely a milestone. Like
I don't think you can talk about video games without talking about Tetris.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't say it's the best video game of all time, but
I'm saying it has an argument.
Well, I also don't have a best video game of all time either, like personally.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see it definitely being in that conversation.
Realm. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right. My next one is.
Wait, it's my turn. Okay, let's switch.
Yeah, I'm saying it for you. Oh, no, I'm sorry. You're right. You're right.
No, you double. Go ahead. Do it.
Double?
Do yours. Do double.
Okay. Last of Us Part 2, Uncharted 4.
Last of Us Part 1 or Last of Us Remastered?
We haven't played that yet.
I know, but it's the same game, right?
You can't fuck something you haven't met yet.
Same game, we saw it.
You can't fuck or marry anything you haven't met. That doesn't exist yet.
A remastered or
yes.
Original.
However, you played Last of Us Part 1.
Both. I played both of them.
Whatever one means the most to you.
Okay, I'll play the first one, not remastered.
Okay.
So, not remastered Part 2. What was the third option?
Uncharted 4.
Okay, this is easy. I say that. I'm gonna marry Part 1. Last of Us 1. Last of Us PS3 specifically. I will marry them. And then, okay, so either Uncharted 4 or Part 2.
Last was Part 2.
I guess I'm killing Uncharted.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
And then you're fucking Part 2.
Part 2. Yep, exactly.
See, I reverse Uncharted in Part 2. Like I'm definitely killing Part 2.
I can see that. A lot of people don't appreciate Part 2, but
I like Part 2. We're talking about greatness.
I know, but we're
talking about greatness here.
Right. Like,
Uncharted 4. Oof.
I thought I have not beat Uncharted 4 more than one time. I played it one time, never played it again, even though I had it. That game never drew me the way that all the other Uncharted did, especially with Uncharted. What was The Lost Legacy? I thought that was a better game.
That's Uncharted 4 technically, right?
No,
that's like DLC for Uncharted 4. What?
No, it isn't.
It's using the same It's using the same engine.
That's not a DLC.
We got Nadine. We got Nadine and Sam.
You cannot just bundle those in. That's not how that works.
I just bought the Legacy of Thieves collection. They came bundled in.
Well, they are not the same thing. That's cheating. You can't
I
get
should
a
have
2
put.
for 1.
You know what? I should have put Uncharted Lost Legacy and see what she.
Yeah. My answer probably would have changed. Well, maybe.
Got you.
Maybe.
Got you.
You'll never know now.
You should play Uncharted 4.
I tried. I've tried, and I think I got to like the jungle Well, there's a lot of jungle sections, obviously.
I know
I
you're talking
got
about
pretty
that.
far. I got like over halfway through, and then I just stopped playing. It
Gotcha.
just lost interest for me. I'll go back one of these days and I'll play it again.
It looks really good on PlayStation 5.
But
With the
now I
haptics and
gotta pay
everything.
the upgrade fee now because somebody's
$10.
greedy.
It's $10.
It should be 0. It should be 0.
You're right, but it's $10.
Yeah. Is it $10 for both? Lost
As long as
Legacy
you,
and
as long as you own a copy of one of them.
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
I paid $10 and got a movie ticket to go see Uncharted in theaters, which was
and how
very
was that?
mediocre.
Okay.
Very like it was aggressively mediocre.
Okay. I think that's available for me to see now, like on DVD and stuff, right?
They're better
I
things to
assume it
watch.
is.
They're better things to watch.
Okay. I gotta
Just
see my girl.
watch that Resident Evil show.
No, that's terrible. I watched.
It has
less
Lance
than one
Reddick in it. It
episode.
can't be terrible.
It's so bad.
You seen it?
I've seen 30 minutes of it, and I had to, maybe 40, and I had to turn it off. It was
My friend said she wants to see it. And I'm like, I'll watch it because she's a big Resident Evil fan.
good luck. I'm a big Resident Evil. Well, I'm a fan. It's just bad.
I am not a fan. I've seen everything though.
The
I'm not a
problem
fan.
is the dialogue. So bad. I couldn't get over it. Anyway, okay, it's your
Rapid
turn.
fire for you, and then I'll end it.
Okay. Wait, that was your last category, wasn't it?
I have one more.
Okay, so here's my next category for you. Modern games. Okay, we got Elden Ring. We got Breath of the Wild. And God of War 2018.
All right, off the top, we're killing God of War 2018.
I knew you were gonna say that because you
Off the top.
revealed that you were a hater for God of War.
I definitely said it before, and I just said it like not as like a main topic kind of thing.
You're terrible. You're gonna get so much hate for this eventually. Okay, what are other?
So
picks?
yeah,
Breath of the
definitely
Wild and Elden Ring.
I'm fucking Elden Ring, and I'm marrying Zelda.
Okay.
Because
I'm
Zelda was the first of those open world games to give me that sense of like exploration. And Elden Ring just came out of nowhere like the new girl in town, like, oh, I do it better.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
I gotta go with the girl I met first, you know.
I got a bonus round though for you. Okay, Breath of the Wild. I was gonna put Spider-Man and Elden Ring. How did your answer change now? Obviously,
Well,
you're married.
Spider-Man's getting married immediately,
Yeah, but then who are you killing and who are you? What's the deal now?
Probably in that case scenario, I'm probably gonna have to kill Elden Ring.
Really?
Probably gonna have to kill Elden Ring. I mean, look, it's not to say I don't like Elden Ring a little more than Breath of the Wild, but in terms of when Breath of the Wild came out, like my experience going through that the first time and then going through it again during the Master Quest, like everything on hard mode. Yeah, that was a surreal experience compared to Elden Ring, which I feel is just a genuinely just great open world game that introduces new concepts. Zelda was a whole experience for me. So,
Okay.
yeah, but
Good answer.
obviously Spider-Man is the one that gets married. No question.
I'll
about that.
allow it. Okay, rapid fire. My last one for you. Okay, we got more characters. Okay,
Okay.
last character set.
Okay.
You got Ellie.
Oh, wait, what?
You have.
I guess okay. She's older, so I guess it makes sense.
Part 1 or part 2? I'll say part.
Please say because it'd be kind of weird sounding fucking Ellie.
Yeah, part
please say part 2. Please say part 2.
Part 2. You know, take it however you want. Okay. You got Ellie.
Okay.
You got Lara Croft.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Geralt of Rivia. That's a great selection there. I see you thinking about it.
Wait, is it like, am I fucking the characters, or is this like?
That's the game. That's the game.
See, when it's like all males, it's easier for me to do it because, like, all right, I know options. But when you put females in it, it's like, well, automatically, I can't fuck girl.
That doesn't mean that.
But yes, it does. For me, it does.
comfortable.
For me, I can't because I'm like, No, I'm not gonna fuck Geralt.
Wow, how dare you? How dare you?
So Geralt automatically has to get killed in this scenario.
What about marry? You can marry him.
No, I can't marry Geralt. I can't.
Wow,
I don't even have the allegiance to Geralt just as a video
Well,
game.
clearly,
character.
if you're not even thinking about it.
Look, I'm not gonna fuck Peter Parker either, and I have a lot of allegiance to Peter Parker. I'm like, I don't fuck him though.
Maybe I should have put him on the list, and then we have to see.
I can tell you right now, he's not getting now. So, all right. So then it's like, I'll marry Ellie,
Okay.
and I'm definitely fucking Laura Croft.
Oh, obviously.
So there we go. So there's the answer to that one.
Okay, good job.
I had to think that through. It's like I'm like, because we hadn't mixed the gender shit.
Yeah, I want to throw you a curveball.
It was like off top, Gerald can't be. It's not going to be any of these other case scenarios. But yeah, no, yeah, I definitely fucking Laura Croft.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to answer that one.
Oh, sure. Okay, we're gonna. Oh no, I don't want to answer this one because I'm like, who am I killing? Because I like all of them.
That's what I feel like it's a more interesting question for you because you like all these characters.
Yeah.
And I like,
Yeah,
and honestly, the crazy thing is I semi like all of them. I don't love any.
I thought you really. Okay, that's fair.
If in terms of the most, I probably like Ellie the most.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever I picture Ellie, I picture her as like little girl Ellie. That's best Ellie.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no type of anything involving like her.
That's fair. All right, I'm killing Ellie.
Fair enough.
Killing Ellie.
Can't fuck Ellie, so we kill her.
Right. We can't do that. Take her off the table.
Strategies.
And then we are going to. This is hard. We got to marry Geralt, I think. We're marrying Geralt.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're the same thinking. We're fucking Laura Croft. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we're
Absolutely.
not too. Honestly, you just have to reverse one. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It's not a hard decision. Everyone would do the same thing.
Respect.
Just kill Ellie. It's easy.
Respect. I do feel like if I had to pick between Geralt and Ellie, I probably would pick Geralt.
To die or to fuck?
No, to like marry.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm not gonna marry him just based on the fact that like there's gonna be some.
I don't know.
Involved.
Ellie's
there's gonna be some fucking
crazy.
involved there too.
Ellie's kind of crazy. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, Geralt's a literal monster, so.
Well.
Like, he literally is like he grows like whiskers, doesn't he? And he like.
I mean, yeah, but it's fine. He takes serum or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, what's my last?
My last one's fun.
Oh God, I'm scared.
My last one's fun.
I'm ready.
Final Fantasy 9.
Of course.
Final Fantasy 13.
Final Fantasy 9, Mary, kill.
And of
Final
course,
Fantasy 13.
Final Fantasy 10.
Oh no, I don't want to do that.
I knew this would be the best one. I knew it. Well, this is the first one I came up with. This is the reason why I came up with the thing.
Yeah, I'm definitely marrying 9, obviously.
Yeah, that's why I know. But
okay, I have which Final Fantasy 10 is. I have to kill Final Fantasy 10. I have to. I was so sure.
Yeah, burn it alive.
I was so sure. I'm lighting the match, putting gasoline on there, doing everything.
So Final Fantasy 13 gets fucked.
Guess so.
Wow. Talk about slim pickings. Wow.
These are the options.
You gotta explain that one to me. Why?
What do you mean why?
Like Final Fantasy 10 definitely not worse than Final Fantasy 13.
You know how I feel about 10. 10 is the worst Final Fantasy game in the entire franchise.
I would argue 12 is the worst for me. But
which one?
12. I'd argue 12 is the worst. No. But 13 is definitely not better than 10.
It's better.
How long has it been since you played 13?
How long has it been? Whew, a long time. It's been.
You need to play it again because if you.
I remember playing it, and it's bad. I remember it's bad.
And you think Final Fantasy 10 is worse?
Absolutely. 100%. 100%.
Both.
Now I will say, both games. I was, crying myself to sleep every night, saying I don't want to play this anymore. But 10 takes the cake. Easily.
Wow. I feel like it's just because you played it recently. I feel like that's why.
No. Hey, if you really think that, I will literally play Final Fantasy 13 again.
It's on Game
and I'll
Pass.
confirm. Yeah, it's on
You can
Game Pass.
you can get through
It's
the
on
whole
Game-
Final Fantasy 13. This is why Final Fantasy 13 is the worst. Because there are 3 games.
Okay, but there's 2 for Final Fantasy 10.
That's one less.
The second one, no, the second one.
And
was
I'd
not
argue
bad.
Final Fantasy 10-2 is really good too.
13-2 is bad. I
All
played
of
it
them
and
are bad.
finished it.
No, Alfredo. All of those games. There's not one good one.
I believe
Lightning
because
Returns.
I started 13-3 and I did not finish it.
That's Lightning Returns, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Lightning shouldn't have returned. Like we should
Nope.
have moved on. Like,
Neither should have Yuna.
like that has to be one of the biggest what ifs. Like, what if they didn't use all those resources to make these 2 sequels to this horrible game? I will never understand how that happened.
Square is an experimental company, and Final Fantasy at that time was also an experiment, and it's still recovering. Okay,
We could have
We're
gotten
still
Final
not there.
Fantasy VII remake earlier.
No, we
in
could
PlayStation
not. They
4.
would have
It-
just been twiddling their thumbs. They probably
No.
would have made a Final Fantasy X-3 instead, which no one wants. No one.
Final Fantasy X-3. They're not gonna go back.
I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you. Well, this has been, of course, the Dukes of Gaming podcast. Again, you can follow us on your favorite podcast service. Watch us live on Twitch, just like the one person did today. Thank you for watching. Of course, leave a like, a review, a comment, anything to help support the show. You can even email us at therealdukesofgaming@gmail.com and have your question read live on air through Cole's mailbag when he is here. We release everywhere, every single week. So I want to make sure you all start your week right with the Dukes of Gaming podcast. And with all that being said,